What's going on, guys? Getting a little bit of a pump from using the old crutches here. So wanted to do a little different video today and just talk to you guys some. I had physical therapy this morning. I recorded like 2 clips, not even doing the physical therapy, but it was a really short appointment. And I was like, well, this would make for a crappy video and I don't want to post crappy stuff. So what I want to do today is just talk about the ACL surgery. I'm by far no expert, but this is my second ACL surgery, one on the left knee last year, 2020, and now on the right knee, 2021. So I think I have at least a little bit of experience with it, and I want to be able to talk to you guys, maybe answer some questions I asked on Instagram, and I just took some notes on some stuff that I wanted to talk about, some things to expect and stuff. So let's jump into it and talk about ACLs. Let's say you're getting surgery, maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, maybe you just tore it yesterday and your surgery is not for a few months, and you want to know what you should be expecting. The first thing to expect, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, pain. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. This second one, it was hurting me so bad. I was asking Allison, like, hey, was it this bad last time? I don't remember. And she's like, yeah, you were in a ton of pain last time. And I seriously must have blanked it from my memory because I couldn't recall, but the day after surgery, it was intense. The nerve block you get wears off. It's usually about 18 to 24 hours. So you get home, you're feeling all right. You can't even feel the leg. I mean, you're sore and stuff, but you're mostly sleepy. You can't feel the leg. You go to sleep, and then the next day, that's when the nerve block is starting to come down, and it really, really hurts. That's just going to be straight up honest with you. It's not like surgery is the most delicate thing in the world. You know, they're in there hammering pretty hard getting stuff to go into the right places and everything. And yeah, it's going to hurt. The next thing you need to be ready for, they'll tell you before the surgery, but take it seriously, constipation. You're not going to be able to poop. You're still going to want to eat after the surgery. You're going to wake up, you had fasted before, you're going to be hungry, you're going to be dying to have some food, and you're going to eat, and that's just going to fill up your stomach, and you're not going to be able to get it back out. Make sure before you even go into your surgery, get a bottle of stool softeners. I don't have mine here, but I definitely went and bought a bottle, and make sure you're taking those because everything's going to get stuck in your stomach and it's going to give you a stomach ache that you can't relieve, and it hurts a lot, and it's definitely something you need to be ready for, you know, so it doesn't catch you by surprise. But it's very annoying, it hurts, it's frustrating, and yeah, you can help negate it some by getting those stool softeners. Something else that you're going to realize when you're coming out of the anesthesia and going into the next few days, you're going to be pretty confused. Things aren't going to completely make sense, especially the day of surgery when you go back home and the next day, because the actual anesthesia that puts you to sleep is still kind of getting out of your system, but then you're taking the pain pills and you might just be confused. You don't remember if you actually said something out loud or had a conversation with someone. You might not remember what you tweeted or what you posted on your Instagram story. So just be ready for that confusion and just an inability to focus. I would say after your surgery isn't a great time to watch your favorite TV show or read your favorite book or a book, because you're going to go for, you know, one episode or read a chapter and you're going to be like, wait, I have no idea what happened. I haven't been fully focused on this. You're going to have to go back and rewatch it or read it again. So with that confusion and that inability to focus, I think, you know, if you do something like TikTok where it's like short bursts, like you don't have to have a very long attention span for it, that's probably your best bet. Or something like my YouTube videos, you know, just throw myself out there, but something where it's like you don't need to completely be totally invested in it, because you're probably not going to remember parts of it and you're going to be confused as it's going on. And the final note I made about what to expect is that you're going to be irritable. You know, you just came out of a surgery, you're in pain, you're unable to do things on your own. You have to use crutches, you have to get help from other people to, you know, help you shower, put on your shoes, or go to the bathroom, or move from here to the couch and turn on the fan. And with all that comes irritability, you know, and it's really easy to get mad at people and frustrated at people when all of this has changed just since your surgery, and the pain pills and the constipation aren't helping either. But you might find yourself quite irritable and on edge, I think would be a good way to put it. All right, well, now you know what to expect, but before you go into surgery, what can you do about it? The first thing that I have on my list is set up your recovery area, and I actually just moved this all around so it doesn't look normal, not right, but I have the couch, you have the crutches, we have the coffee table, we have the TV, I have my work stuff here. And of course, you shouldn't be working like the same day or day after, but once you get back into it. But have everything pre-planned, where you're going to lay down, where you're going to sleep, because you need a space to recover. And the couch, of course, is perfect. You can sit there, you can watch TV, you can be on TikTok, you can ice your knee, you can have food and drink close to you. You know, you don't want to be moving from here to there, or you get home and it's like, oh, I don't have anywhere to sit. I have to clear some room on the couch or whatever. That's something that's super easy to plan ahead. Just make yourself a good space for recovery where you can nap as needed and just kick back and relax a little bit. The next thing you can do, I mentioned pain, and I want to reiterate that the pain is going to be a big thing. The pain hurts a lot, and that's why they give you such heavy medication. And of course, there is a potential of addiction and abuse with this medication, so please listen to your doctor. Your doctor knows best. They're going to give you, you know, the dosage and how often you should take it and everything. Listen to them, don't overdo it, but make sure you're taking the pain meds. You know, you're not Superman, you're not impressing anyone if you're like, oh, I didn't take any pain meds after surgery. Like, if someone told that to me, I'd be like, that sounds terrible. Why would you do that to yourself? But of course, don't abuse it. But when they say take this oxycodone or oxycodone, whatever, every 6 hours, just follow the doctor's recommendations, especially going into that second day, because your nerve block is going to wear off. So say you're scheduled to take your pill at 10 a.m. and 9:50 comes around, you're like, I feel fine, my leg is still blocked, I don't need that pain pill. Then at 11:30, your nerve block is probably going to be coming down some, and you're going to be getting all that pain coming up all at once. And it's very similar to what they say about staying hydrated. Like, if you're thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated. And I think of it as the pain pills. If you're in pain, that means you're too far gone, you know, and then that's when someone's going to start playing catch up and maybe take 2 pills instead of 1 or 3 instead of 2. And that's when you put yourself in a really precarious and dangerous position. So definitely don't do that. But if you're supposed to take your pain pill at 10 and you don't really feel, especially again, the second day, once this is like a week out, this is all different. But, and you feel like the nerve block's working, you don't need it, take that pill anyway, because then when the nerve block comes down, your pain pill will be coming up, so then you'll be able to just keep that pain at a manageable level. You won't have those really high spikes and valleys, mountains and valleys and everything. So again, definitely listen to your doctor when they say take it every 6 hours or 4 hours or 8 hours, or take this and then this. Just do what they say. They're looking out for your best interests. But just take your pain pills, because the pain is going to hurt a lot, and you want to set yourself up for your most comfortable recovery possible. Another thing you should do that I'm guilty of not doing, but eat smart. Afterwards, like I've already mentioned, you're going to have the constipation, your stomach's going to hurt, and you're just going to amplify that. Like, if on the way home from surgery you think, oh, I'm going to get some Taco Bell, and I even had some friends joke, you know, like, oh, you're constipated, get Taco Bell, and it's like, it doesn't work like that. You get the pain, but you don't get the movement, if you will. As you eat crummy stuff and, you know, unhealthy stuff, yeah, you might get that mouth pleasure right away, but it's going to build up in your stomach and it's going to make it miserable. You're going to be laying on the couch trying to relax, trying to maybe nap a little bit, and your stomach's just going to be gurgling and burbling, and you feel like you have to go to the bathroom. So then you get up on the crutches, you go to the bathroom, you're not even able to go to the bathroom, so that doesn't relieve anything. You got a crutch back, lay down, your stomach's still hurting. You know, just eat smart. I'm not saying you have to go on a diet or eat, you know, only salads or something, but maybe think a little bit about what you eat, and don't just be eating too many oatmeal cream pies, which I had on the desk or on the table, and they aren't there now. So again, listen to what I say, not as I do, but yeah, set yourself up for success and eat a little better. My final suggestion of what to do is take your phone and put it away. I know I mentioned TikTok, but for the most part, with this confusion and just kind of how you're in this weird dream state and you don't know exactly what's going on, you don't need your phone, because the last thing you want to do is tweet something stupid or put something stupid on your Instagram story that you're going to eventually regret, or, you know, text that girl you have a crush on and say something stupid, or who knows, any different thing. But I think it's best just to put your phone away and just kick back and watch some TV, watch some YouTube, watch whatever. Again, not something you're super invested in, but I think it's a good time to be away from your phone and just get that out of sight, out of mind. And here we are for the closing part of what not to do. I've told you what to expect, what you should do. Here's what you shouldn't do after the surgery and before the surgery. First off, stress. Yeah, of course you're going under the knife. Definitely do not watch Dr. Death on Peacock because that is terrifying before you get a surgery. Luckily I didn't watch it till afterwards, but don't do that. But don't stress. These surgeons, these nurses, these doctors, they've all put in the time and effort because this is what they love and they want to help you. They want you to come out with the best possible outcome. They're experienced, they're very skilled, and they're great at what they do. So you know you're in good hands when you go into this surgery. Don't stress yourself out before thinking of anything bad that could happen. There's always risks with surgery, but you know, it's 2021. They're so incredibly skilled. Modern medicine is incredible. Just actually try to enjoy the time. Don't stress on it, because when you're in that operating room, or before you even go in and you're in the hospital bed and they give you the IV and they start to give you the anesthesia and the medications to make you go to sleep, that's some of the most relaxed you could ever be. So enjoy that little break there, and don't stress yourself out too much with the upcoming surgery. The next thing not to do is, when you're in recovery, don't take out your frustrations and your anger on the people helping you. I said you might be irritable and on edge, which I feel is very true, and I know I was. But everyone who's around and trying to help you, they love you more than anyone else, and that's why they're there to help you. Of course, I have Allison, and my mom and dad have been helping out since we have the baby and just trying to take care of me. So Allison has 2 babies on her hands. But I even told Allison and my mom, I was like, hey, I feel really irritable, so if I like snap at you, let me know, just kind of put me back on track, because again, you just got everything like taken away from you. Like if you have to go to the bathroom, it's not just, oh, I'm gonna walk to the restroom. It's you gotta get your crutches, you gotta, you know, make sure nothing's in your path. I'm lucky that how my knee is, it's not too awfully bad and I can get around okay, but still, you have to rely on other people, and it's really frustrating for you. So then it's really easy, if something doesn't go completely right, for you to just snap off at them, and they don't deserve that. They're there to help you. So try to do your best and at least communicate with them and be like, hey, I'm not feeling great. I might be like kind of angry or mad or something. It's not anything with you. I appreciate your help, but just so you know, like I'm feeling pretty irritable. So I think that's something to definitely not do. Don't snap at the people who are helping you out. And my final what not to do is, don't not listen to your doctor's instructions. That's right, that's a double negative, saying do listen to your doctor's instructions. I've had people comment on my old ACL video and they're like, how long until I take off the ACE bandages? And it's like, dude, ask your doctor. Don't ask a random YouTuber. I am not medically licensed. I'm not the one to give you great advice. I can tell you what my doctor said. You know, they give you the discharge stuff that says, wound care, your dressing can be removed after 48 hours and you can shower, but do not soak the incision, stuff like that. Your doctor will tell you that. Whatever they tell you, listen to. Again, the pain pills is the big one. They know what's best. They want the best for you. They're going to give you sound advice, so listen to them. And then any wound care, or how much weight you can put on it, or how much extension, or how your brace should be, ask your doctor. Definitely what not to do is ignore your doctor. You're like, oh, my doctor says 6 months for recovery, I'm going to get back on the bike in 3. No, don't do that. Just don't ignore their advice. Yeah, just double checking my notes there, but that's the big thing, is listen to what they said, don't ignore their advice. So that's my input on what to expect, what to do, and what not to do for your ACL surgery. And then I went on Instagram and I asked you guys if you had any questions about ACL surgery and recovery, and so we'll go through some of these. The first one is from Patrick Damn Right. I heard someone say once they have no ACL. It's removable. I don't think it's removable. I mean, I guess they could go in there and cut it out, but if you tear your ACL, I don't have a good way to represent it. All right, here's your ACL. It's in between. This is your femur and this is whatever, tib, fib, and your ACL is between there, so your knee's bending this way. So you tear your ACL, and now you have 2 nubs without it connected. So now your ACL, your knee is free to move because this isn't restricting it. So they can go in with surgery and remove these nubs and just take those out, or clean up the meniscus, or not do anything. You can live without an ACL. It's not life-threatening. The issue is that your knee is going to be loose. So instead of only moving forward and backward, or like opening and closing, say like this, now your knee is free to move left to right and forward and backward, and these bones they're going to crash into each other because they don't have that resistance. So they're going to hit, and the meniscus, which are on the sides here, you're going to be squashing into, and the cartilage is going to be grinding between the bones. So you can strengthen up the muscles around, you know, a lot of pro dirt bike riders do that. Villapoto did it for a while. Stewart did it for a while. I know that, I can't think of other names, but other top pros have torn an ACL and continue to race on it. I think Hampshire did a few years ago. You can strengthen up those muscles around your knee to help you hold your knee in a bit better, but the whole point of the ACL is to keep it from that lateral movement. So without the ACL, there's still going to be some wiggle room in there. You might be able to keep it strong enough just by working out your muscles. So it's not completely unnecessary that you need your ACL, but you can live without one. I lived without my ACL in my left knee for about 2 years before I finally got it fixed because it was just too painful, and I just didn't want to do that on the right side. Sean Bryce asks, what's worse in your opinion, breaking a bone or a ligament? Well, I prefer not to do either, but the ligament, especially the ACL, you have to get it repaired because the ACL doesn't get any blood flow, so it doesn't repair itself. That's why you have to get a graft and get a new piece put in there, because usually if there's like two things dangling, then they can get blood flow and they can, you know, grow back together, because the human body is incredible like that and heal itself, just like a bone. But with the ACL, you're unable to do that. So in that case, I would think a bone would be better. Of course, bone breaks can be, they can range from a little hairline fracture to where it snaps and it sticks to the skin and then you get infected. So it's kind of like a loaded question, but I would think the answer most people give you is that a bone is easier to set and heal than a ligament, especially an ACL. Hayden Gray asks, do you think working out and running on your off time would improve knee strength? I think, of course, you know, working out, especially if you follow something like knees over toes guy, which I haven't in the past, but moving forward I'm going to strengthen up your knees and the muscles around your knee. Yeah, you're gonna be able to strengthen it so that if you do hit your knee and twist it on a dirt bike, the muscles are gonna help hold it in a little bit better, and maybe you can avoid that tear. For me personally, like, yeah, you can tell I eat a little bit much. I don't go to the gym as much as I should. So it could help, sure, but also, you know, McAdoo just tore his ACL. Didn't someone else tear it too? Phil Nicoletti, and you can't tell me that those guys aren't in shape. You know, they're out there training and working out and doing everything. So I'm sure that their knees are a little bit stronger, but it's not like it's going to completely prevent you from tearing an ACL, because those guys are at the top of their game. Well, maybe not Phil Nicoletti, but Cameron McAdoo and say RV and James Stewart, when they toured theirs, they're at the top of their game, training, working out every single day, doing everything right, eating right, and they can still tear an ACL. So it's definitely possible. But yeah, I think that running and working out would help strengthen it and make that potential for a tear lower than it would be without. Oni asks if I can still eat donuts. I am very capable of still eating donuts. I haven't eaten any donuts, but I definitely can. My buddy Brandon Powell, he actually had surgery on his left knee the exact same day as I did, and he asks if we can show what it looks like inside of the knee. He's curious if we have any photos. I had some just from like the little camera they put in your knee, so I'll like actually put these on the screen or something, so hopefully you guys can see them better. I don't fully know exactly what's going on. I think this one is the new ACL from the patellar graft. You know, of course, not being a doctor, but you can see the different tools they have in there and stuff. So I'll put those up on the screen so you can actually see them. But yeah, they gave me some sheets of the photos, so we have some view into the knee, and when I go in on the 28th, they'll be able to explain to me exactly what we're seeing in there. D-Lou Dan Jr. asks if they gave me a choice between open or arthroscopic. They didn't. I think, you know, each doctor kind of has the way they approach things and how you're getting the graft, what they need to do. So I have on the front of my knee, maybe I can show you guys in a second, but I have one big scar and then like a smaller one on the side from where they came in arthroscopically or whatever, and then the big one I think where they cut out the graft that they used for the ACL. So I'm not sure how that all works, but it wasn't like I had a choice of like do it this way or that way. It was like they suggested the bone-to-bone patellar graft because it worked well last time, and I was like, yep, let's do that, and that was the end of that conversation really. Andrew McLaughlin asks, on both surgeries, did your quad muscles activate the same day or did you have to wait days to flex them? I don't think the same day as the surgery, but I think 2 to 3 days is when I could start kind of activating the quads and like pushing down with my leg. If you're imagining you're laying straight on your legs, you can push your legs down onto the couch. Able to do that. And then with PT today, I was able to push my quads down. I couldn't do a leg lift on my own, but yeah, the quad's activating fine. I don't think it was same day, but I think that also has to do with the nerve block. I'm not entirely sure how that all works, but Ryan Hanna 22 asks, do you have to do physical therapy for ACL recovery? Of course, Ryan wouldn't have known this in the video. I already mentioned doing physical therapy, but yes, absolutely. Good morning, guys. We are here. It's Friday morning for our first physical therapy appointment. Luckily, this place is real close to the house, so get in there. And it's not like we'll be doing too much today, but I'm sure they'll get the leg moving a little bit. Some stuff like your collarbone, you might be able to get away without doing physical therapy, because you know you can like do your own movements and stuff. But with the knee, it's such a delicate thing, and just you don't want to re-tear it. And there's just so much that goes into it, and just learning to walk again. I would highly recommend that you do physical therapy for it. You know, maybe if you broke a pinky or broke a toe or something, physical therapy isn't really necessary. But any larger injury like my wrist, I did a lot of physical therapy for. My left knee, I did a ton. My right knee, I already have a ton scheduled up. But yeah, you're definitely going to be doing some physical therapy and building that muscle up and making sure that the leg is working as it should, because if you skip on it, you might never get your full range of motion back or your extension, and that's just not where you want to end up. Shut Up Zach asks, are you in a lot of pain? I'm in a lot less today. It is noon, actually exactly right now as I record this. All I've had today is Tylenol. I didn't take any of the heavy pain medications, and I took that at about 6:30 this morning, and I'm doing really well. The second day and the third day, and I guess some of the first day I was still on the actual like anesthesia and the main pain meds, but the second day and the third day, yeah, when they show you that graph, 0 to 10, how are you feeling? How would you rate the pain? 10, absolute 10. It was awful, hurt so very bad, but we're doing all right now. We're fine. Going off of that, Kaylee Hansen asks, what do you do to help with the pain? Getting off the leg, like obviously I'm not standing, but just how I have it under my desk. If I get on the couch and stretch it out straight and elevate it, that helps with the pain. Of course, pain medication, and then icing. I have my ice pack in the freezer, and then I also have the ice machine that has the water and the ice, and it circulates it through the tubes. That thing is amazing. And putting that on, wrapping an ace bandage around, that helps with the pain. So I guess it's just kind of the rice method. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation, and then of course pain medication as well. But that's what I do for the pain. Chris Dale CEO asks, do you feel your tear would have been worse without the knee braces? I don't think it would have been worse, because I tore the ACL all the way through. It's not like it was a partial tear, so I don't think it could get much worse. But I think without knee braces, I probably would have torn it sooner. The way I see it, your knee is, let's say 0 to 100. If you hurt your knee, let's say 0 to 50, you'll be fine. Knee braces or not, you'll twist your knee, but you'll be fine. From 51 to 75, if you twist your knee and you're not wearing braces, boom, that's a tear. But if you are wearing braces, the braces are going to protect you in that range. From 76 to 100, and of course these numbers are totally arbitrary, but stay with me. From 76 to 100, you twist your knee that hard, braces or not, it's tearing. I think that just like helmets or seat belts or airbags, these things aren't 100% guaranteed that you're not going to get hurt. You can still get hurt in a knee brace, obviously, but I do feel like it helps a ton. And once I get back on the bike, I'll be wearing knee braces, absolutely. I won't ride without them. David Venezia Photography asks, when you get ACL surgery, can you fully walk, or you have to walk with crutches? So I have the crutches. I mentioned it in the last video. There's kind of two different ways, because when you get the ACL, they usually work with the meniscus as well. If your meniscus is torn and they have to sew together your meniscus, the meniscus is actually the weak point. So then you have to be on crutches for longer, about a month, and no weight bearing, so you can't put weight on your leg for about a month, because the meniscus is healing in there. If you didn't get the meniscus fixed, or if they just kind of cut out the tear, which is what they did on my right side, so they repaired the ACL, but the meniscus they just kind of cut out. It's a circular shape, or a half moon shape. They cut out where that tear is, and then you can walk on it a little bit sooner, because you don't have to worry about that suture on the meniscus healing. So you're going to need crutches either way, but if you get the meniscus sewn up, you're going to need to be on crutches longer. If you don't get the meniscus sewn up, you might be on crutches only 1 to 2 weeks. But either way, yeah, you need to be on crutches and let that knee heal up at least a little bit before you're putting full weight on it. DXMX Racer X? DXMX RCX asks, wow, how long is recovery? Usually about like 6 to 8 months to get back on a bike. Sometimes I say like up to a year until you're feeling 100%, but I would say 6 to 8 months is when I'm looking at riding again. I guess it kind of depends on what you consider recovery. Like, is that walking or running or riding a dirt bike or playing basketball, you know? So however you rate that is going to give you different time. If it's walking, that could be, you know, 3 weeks. If it's running, that could be 3 months. I don't know. If it's riding, that could be 8 months. If it's until you totally forgot you had surgery, that could be 12 months to 18 months. So it's just kind of on a scale of that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. If you guys had any questions that I didn't answer or you wanted further information, feel free to message me. Instagram is probably the best way, at DeeO. Slide into my DMs. I'll be happy to talk to you about ACL surgery if you have one upcoming, or if you're recovering, or if you're just curious about it, let me know. But I hope this helps some of you. I'm sorry if you do have a torn ACL and you're going into surgery soon, because it's not fun. There's a lot of pain. The recovery is long and hard, and just going into a surgery just would rather be at the track. But it'll be okay. You'll come out better than you are now, because living with a torn ACL just isn't the best. And once that thing's healed up and you're back to 100%, you'll be very happy you went through it. But I hope this helps some of you out, and even if you're not getting surgery, maybe you enjoyed this and whatnot. So appreciate y'all watching. I'm still trying to keep some content coming out, even though of course I'm not riding at this time. But yeah, until next time, as always, take it easy. If it's easy, take it twice. Talk to you later.